Vasudeva Gauramavashani Nirvishesha Shunyavandi Vaskachani Tijatani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauramavashani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very happy to be with you. During this Damodar Mass, very auspicious time. So it's always very glorious to hear and speak about Krishna during this Kartik time, and also beyond. Not only during Kartik, but this is the most auspicious night. Try to record it. Okay.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna. Omakyanatimamlasya sanansinasaka Chakshramritam vina tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swami Pradhanam Dodati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Sridhata Kamalam Shri Vaishnavamsam Shri Rupam Sarvatam Sagamaratam Pitam Sam Sajivam Sakritam Sardatam Bhajana Saikam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Krishna Sagamavita Shikshantam Pitam Sahi Krishna Guna Sundari Bhagavata Gopesha Gopya Kantaram Dr. Kanchana Gaura Devi Shri Krishna Sutadevi Pranamade Anka Kauta Vishna Kripasi Vishna Padma Kamanagyo Vashavyo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Santi Gaura Bhaktavina Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishnavastai Nate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Prachaya Nirvishesha Shniyavadi Pashtatam Sutadesatam Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this evening I will speak from a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that the topic of this lecture is the behavior of a gentle person that all get seated, but we can concentrate on the hearing, because the real benefit is the hearing with attention. This was what Srila Prabhupada said. I've no merit in what I'm doing. I'm doing it only for the service to my spiritual master. If I've only one qualification, he said, that is that I like to hear with attention. And that hearing of with attention made Srila Prabhupada great. So this I'm reading from Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada, he was translating these books. In the middle of the night he would get up to translate his books. And one day he said to his disciples, why am I translating these books? It's for you to read. It's for us. That's Srila Prabhupada's compassion. He gave us these books for us to read. And he said to his disciples, if you are not reading these books, go avakya. In offense to the spiritual master, to the third offense against the holy name. Go avakya. So we must read and hear them. So I'm reading a verse. This is a verse from the fourth canto. In the fourth canto, the beginning of the fourth canto, you have the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj is a disciple of Narada Muni. And Narada Muni gives him many instructions. And this verse today is one of his instructions, 4.8.34 of the Bhagavad Gita, but Srimad Bhagavatam. But before we read this verse, we glorify Lord Krishna with the following words. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I read first the Sanskrit and then the translation, so no need to repeat, I just read the Sanskrit. Gunadikam mutam lipsat anukosham gunadamat maitim samanat anvichan tataper abhibhuyate. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this world. So now the Muni instructs Dhruva Maharaj that if you meet someone who is superior to you, then you should be happy to meet that person and have respect and learn from that person. And if you meet someone equal, you should make friendship. And if you meet someone who is less qualified, you must feel compassion and try to elevate that person. That is the behavior of a gentle person. But in the Bhagavad Srila Prabhupada shows the consciousness of the people of this world. They have a different reaction. That first purport by H.H.Bhakti Prabhava Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Generally when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, see, something happened here. It's reconnecting. The problem with the recording. I'm not going. Internet problem. Yeah, but generally when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of material tribulations. This is the cause of suffering. The great sage Narada therefore advised that the devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate toward him, just to raise him to the proper standard. When one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this world. So, Srila Prabhupada makes his point, yes. Mostly people, when they meet someone more qualified, then they become very envious. Why he, why not me? And they try to bring that person down. And if they meet someone who is equal, mostly they start to promote themselves. Boast, I'm better than you, I've done this and that. And you should feel compassion that I'm your friend. And if one is less qualified, then the envious person thinks this person is nothing. Push him down. And that is the cause of material suffering. One of the main causes in this world is envy. But Narada Muni said, a gentle person he deals different. He has no envy. He's happy to see someone more qualified. Krishna has given him these qualifications. It's Krishna's mercy that this person in his previous life has done pious activities, and now Krishna gives him that. Very good. And I can learn from this person. Now, if one meets someone less qualified, then one tries to help that person to elevate. And with equals, he enjoys friendship. And that, Lord Krishna says, that frees you from all suffering. Yes. So, that brings us to the point. Why are people in this world envious of each other? We will try to understand this root cause. Because they don't see others as part and parcels of Krishna. So our spiritual identity is described in Bhagavad Gita in 15.7. We are part and parcels of Krishna. And we need to learn to see others as part and parcels of Krishna. Because why do people does not see that others are spirit souls and part and parcels of Krishna? Because of their tendency to exploit the material nature. Everyone in this world wants to enjoy exclusively, and therefore we see there is a battle for the same resources, that there is competition and there is envy. And if one becomes envious, one becomes completely bewildered by this illusory energy. That brings you under this illusory energy. And you will not be able to identify yourself as a spirit soul. Because you don't realize that you are not the real controller in this material world. There is a supreme control. That everyone knows. We make plans for happiness, but does it happen? Many times not. We don't want this stress, we don't want it, but it comes. It means we are not on the controller of our own destiny. In the material world, everyone is envious of one another, and therefore there is this competition that we are becoming competitors. But the nature of the spirit soul is different. In the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, I hope you read all Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, please read it. You can get the copy here today. But in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada gives the spirit soul a specific name. He calls the spirit soul the cooperator. That the spirit soul is meant to cooperate with Krishna. But in the material world, everyone is envious of one another, and there's position. And what is the ultimate cause? We do not accept Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, but we want to enjoy independent from Krishna. That, every time we desire to gratify our senses, we are trying to be Krishna in some way. We are competing for his position. So that's the choice that Krishna gives to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. He spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita, and at the end he says, you have heard it all. Arjuna, now do what you wish to do. Krishna instructed him, do what you wish to do. Some devotees say that's the instruction in Bhagavad Gita I like the most. Do what you wish to do. But it means that are we going to serve our senses and on the basis of this envy, or are we going to serve Krishna? Are we going to compete, or are we going to cooperate? The choice is ours, to serve Krishna or to compete with Krishna. Because if we are envious to others, this envious for others, because the others are part and parcels of Krishna, is a reflection of our own envy towards Krishna. That's what it is, ultimately. You cannot try to love Krishna. I try to love Krishna, but I don't want to love Srimad. It's not going to work. You cannot love Krishna and hate others at the same time. It's not going together, because we are part and parcels of Krishna. We are also Krishna, but as separate parts. Krishna is the whole. Krishna is the supreme soul, but also Krishna is separated parcels. Not all together. We are part of Krishna, but we are mind part. We are equal in quality with Krishna. Sat-Chit-Ananda, that's the nature of the spirit soul. It's eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Krishna also, Sat-Chit-Ananda. But Krishna is unlimited, and we are very limited. And therefore we must cooperate. We are like sparks out of the fire. We have become disconnected with the fire. So we must bring into the spark again the fire. I tell sometimes, yes, this is an iPhone connected with the internet now. If it's not connected with the internet, what's the value of all the apps? I cannot use them. It must be connected. So with us also, we have no value if we are not connected. So we have to connect our consciousness with Krishna. First, that's the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Man mana, think of me. If we think of Krishna, our consciousness becomes connected, our soul becomes connected. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have many examples of envious persons. Who read the Bhagavatam here? No? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So please read the entire Bhagavatam. That will cure. We will come to that. in the first canto, there you have Duryodhana described, very envious of Krishna. But everyone knows the Mahabharata and Duryodhana, right? But, and in the third canto, who knows who was described in the third canto, which was envious? Yaksha, yes. And also Daksha. Daksha was very envious of Lord Shiva. That, yes. And in the sixth canto, that sixth canto, that there we have the story of H.H.Bhakti. His queens, they were very envious, H.H.Bhakti. That's a whole story, but they poisoned the son of H.H.Bhakti, so envious. And in the seventh canto, Hiranyakashipu, that in the eighth canto you have the fight between the demons and the demigods. That even the demigods are not completely free from envy, you see, because they still want to control. That, and in the ninth canto, the story of Lord Ram is given. And who was the big demon there? Ravan. Yes. And in the 10th canto, comes many demons, Shishapal, Indra, that we have to go down soon. But now, I want to speak about the solutions. What's the solution to this envy? I have a whole of list of things we should do. First, the first point that Krishna explains to Uddhava in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 11th canto of the Gita, he says, if you associate with pure devotees of Krishna, you become free from envy. Then you become free from envy. Pure devotees. And Krishna gives so many wonderful things to do. You have to do your prescribed duties for the pleasure of Krishna. You have to worship the deity. That the purpose of deity worship is described in the third canto, chapter 29, text 5 by Lord Kapila. So what's the purpose of deity worship? Someone knows why we worship the deity?
Is it part of Navada Bhakti?
Yeah, it's part of that, but why are we doing that?
Because in the earlier yugas, Satyuga they used to do meditation, the Treta Dwapara they used to do.
It's nice, it's a process for this year, for this age, for the age of Dwapara Yuga, deity worship, yeah, and also this age. That's nice to do, but why? What will be the result? In what mood should we do it? To get really the result and become free of envy. To
realize that the Lord is present in everyone's heart.
Yes, that's mentioned by Lord Kapila. One worships the deity until one realizes my presence in his own heart heart of all living entities. So when you do puja for the deity, or if you pray to the deity, you see the deity on the altar, but you need to transfer it to your heart, to your mind at the same time, and feel the same deity in your heart. That's the purpose. And then gradually you will become purified and you will see the same deity in the heart of others. So that's the purpose of deity worship, Lord Kapila says. That to realize that I'm in your heart. I'm in the presence of everyone's heart. So that's the meditation with devotion during the worship of the deity, to see Krishna on the altar and Krishna in your own heart. Of course, philosophically we can understand to some extent that Krishna is in our heart by philosophical awareness, practical philosophical awareness. But what I'm going to tell you, you cannot understand when you have envy in the heart, because you will accept the words, you may intellectually accept it, but you will not act upon it. And that's because of this envy, this lust. That's why it doesn't happen. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I'm the fire of digestion in your body. So Krishna is in your body in the form of digestion. The super soul controls your digestion. Krishna is in your heart as Paramatma. And Paramatma is Mayadakshana Prakriti, Chucha Checha Chacham. He controls material nature. He controls your digestion, he controls your heartbeat, he lets your blood go into your veins, controls all the cells, all the cells change. He has put the DNA in your cells and everything. And he says, Krishna, Sarvasitam Vedishane Vishtu, Matashmitim Ganam Apahamsa. I give you remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. You don't control what you are going to remember next. It depends on Krishna. But we are so bewildered, we think, yeah, I do it all by my power. But if the super soul doesn't give you power, you are nonsense. That's all. We cannot. But it gives you intelligence. It makes you forget things. It makes us forget our previous lives. Otherwise, we will be too frustrated in this life. We will not be able to bear it. So Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Vishwaim Natishati Vamyam Sarvabhutanam Yantrutanami Maya. I'm seated in everyone's heart and I'm controlling the wanderings of all living entities who are seated on the yantra, a machine of biological material energy. And he controls the whole thing. But because of envy, we think our consciousness is clouded by the mode of passion and ignorance. We cannot understand. But to remove these clouds, if we are humbly serving the deity, meditate on him, and get that meditation and feel the same, try to feel the same deity in your heart. That will remove this lust. That's one method, an important method. So this evening, if we do Damodarastakam and we offer the lamp to Krishna, we should feel Krishna in our heart, smiling Krishna in our heart. relishable and ecstatic. They purify you. That's. So this verse from Narada Muni spoken to Dhruva, it tells him to practice a culture of respect. We want to advance spiritually, we must cultivate respect. That Srila Prabhupada gave us 10 offenses against the holy name to avoid, to be there. And then only if you avoid these offenses, then this chanting becomes very effective. And that chanting, that respect must be given to the holy name, must be given to Krishna, must be given to the devotees. But if we don't show that respect, then it's a problem. The chanting of the holy name will not be greatly effective in purifying our mind, heart. Because it's chanting of the holy names of Krishna and the practice of deity worship and so on. It purifies our heart from this envy. And when the heart is purified of envy, then you continue chanting, and then the chanting will produce love, which is, because this love is the purpose of religion, to love God. Yeah, prema punakta moham, Lord Chaitanya said. The goal of life is to develop pure love for Krishna. It's not just love, it's pure love. Understanding what pure love is. Pure love is love which is practiced always and without any trace of envy. That's the point. So therefore, in the Bhagavatam, this is repeated again and again, and here King Rishabhadev in the 5th canto instructs his 100 sons and says, my dear sons, you should not envy any living entity. That means be satisfied with what you get from Krishna and try to use it to its maximum in his service. But don't be envious because someone gets more, or don't diminish someone or try to bring him down because he doesn't have these great qualities. That we should remain respectful. So it says, you should not envy any living entity. He be moving or non-moving, knowing that I'm situated in them. I'm in their heart. Krishna is in every living entity. Therefore we put tilak. The devotee puts always tilak. Because that tilak, that is for remembering, this body is a temple of Krishna. Krishna is in the heart. It's a temple of God. Therefore, I should be very careful with what I do with this body. I should use it in Krishna's service, and I should maintain it very nicely, healthy, balanced. Krishna speaks about balancing in Bhagavad Gita. Not sleeping too much, not too less, not eating too much, not too less. That's not always working on recreation, that the body can recuperate, that the subtle body also. So you should not envy any living entity, moving or non-moving, knowing that I'm situated in their heart. And you should offer respect to all them at every moment. In this way, offer respect to me. So, King Rishabhadev, who is a Sakya Vaisavata, says, you offer respect to all living entities. In that way, you offer respect to me. But in the 9th canto, Ramachandra's pastimes are mentioned. And there at the end of these pastimes, Sukadev Goswami writes, anyone who orally to the ear receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes will ultimately be free from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. Bondage of fruitive activity means we want to enjoy and exploit this world on I mind. And we give it up just by hearing about Krishna from the Bhagavatam. Because if our heart is not clean, we cannot understand who Krishna is. To understand Krishna, you need love. Bhakti amamam vichanti yajna satmi tatvatam tatmam tatvato kartam vijate tatanam. Only by pure devotional service, ananya bhakti, can I be understood Krishna's grace. And if you have understood me, you can go back to the spiritual world. In the spiritual world is Vaikuntha, without misery, and there is no envy. You must keep up first your envy, and then you can develop this love. And then you can go back to the spiritual world. But just hearing about Krishna frees us from envy. Because we start to understand Krishna's position. And if we understand Krishna's position, we understand who we are. We are a servant. If we understand Krishna's position, then we know that nothing depends on us really in this world. We get the reactions of our previous past deeds. We are destined to a certain extent. Does that mean I should not do an endeavor for anything because my destiny is there? No. Whatever your destiny is, you can still serve Krishna. You can still serve Krishna in whatever position you are. And that's your choice. That's your choice to get out. If you don't take that choice, you'll stay here. Night after night after night after night. Taking birth, dying, and quarreling with each other out of envy. That envy. This is my land. And the other country said, no, your land is my land. Let's fight out of envy. Because it doesn't belong to either parties. It belongs to Krishna. It's envy that causes these wars, nothing else. That's the root cause of everything. So, therefore we say, when we read the Bhagavatam, Naske Zabatya Sunityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavata Naske Bhakti Bhakti Naske. That by regular hearing of this Bhagavatam about Krishna, then and by following the instructions of the spiritual master. And the first instruction of the spiritual master is that we should hear about Krishna. That all what is troublesome to the heart is destroyed. And what is troublesome is this envy. So a devotee, he constantly is engaged in hearing and chanting, and he becomes free from this disease of envy, and he goes back to the spiritual world. Because if we know, by hearing we come to know Krishna's position, and we know our position as a servant, and then naturally we want to serve Krishna, and develop this loving relationship. And this is the need of the soul. Everyone wants to love and be loved. But the love in this world is contaminated with envy and I mind. But if it's directed towards Krishna, then it purifies us from that. It purifies us from that, and satisfied. The soul feels satisfied. Even from the beginning, you feel satisfied. And later, when the heart is pure, it becomes ecstatic. Pure love develops. So that is Srila Prabhupada says the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. That in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 9, first text, the middle part of Bhagavad Gita is the most confidential knowledge. Yes. And Krishna says to Arjuna, I will impart you this most confidential knowledge because you are never envious of me. And therefore you can understand it. So all the so-called scholars cannot understand Bhagavad Gita because they think themselves great scholars, envious of Krishna. What level of capacity that we have is not ours. It's Krishna doing to us and gives us that as a merit of our past pious deeds. But we should never think that I've done it. No. We should understand Krishna is in my heart and he's working to me. And it's wonderful that he does that. And therefore I should use my talents in his service. So this is confidential knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. And it's very difficult to understand by the materialistic people. But if you practice this Krishna consciousness, you will experience that you become more happy and free from this envy. At the 10th canto, the beginning of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, what is the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam about? Krishna's pastimes. And before what is described, 2 times the creation, and how many envious persons became purified, and the process of purification, that's described in the first 9 cantos, because that you must first know. That if you hear how Krishna is doing the creation, then, and is the source of the creation, the source is in the effect. And we have to learn to see Krishna in the effect. Krishna is in every atom. That you see a seed and a beautiful flower comes from it, of a tree. That we don't understand how it happens. Yes, it comes from a seed, but how does it happen? It's Krishna in the seed who does it grow. And he makes this beautiful flower and so on. He's doing everything in this world. There's only Krishna in this world. But because of envy, we are covered and we only see ourselves as the center. And we don't see the reality. So at the beginning of the 10th canto, at the end of the 9th canto, Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit and he said to him, he described great dynasties of great devotee kings, and he described the Surya, then the dynasty from the sun, and he described the Soma dynasty from the moon god, and then in the Soma dynasty there, Krishna and Balaram was mentioned. And at the beginning of the 10th canto, Maharaj Parikshit becomes very eager. He said, I want to hear more about Krishna. And Sukadeva Goswami said, oh, good. He says, are you free from lust? Are you free from envy? So, he's saying, are you free from envy? You want to hear about Krishna, but if you are not free from envy, you cannot understand it. So he said, Brahmana Bhavad Sadak, did you take the medicine of Manobhi or not? Did you take the medicine of hearing about Krishna sufficiently from the first 9 cantos? Did you take it sufficiently? Are you purified? Is envy gone? Otherwise you cannot hear that. A few years ago I was in this was the last festival in the Ukraine, the second last festival, that and H.H.Bhakti Maharaj was there during the festival in Odessa, and he gave a lecture. And he spoke on the same topic, and then the person, a devotee, raised his hand and said, but I'm already hearing the Bhagavatam, but still my heart is not yet pure. What to do? And H.H.Bhakti Maharaj said, Bhava Sadak, you have the medicine of hearing about Krishna. If you are not yet purified, then increase the dose of the medicine. Hear more about Krishna. Therefore, we need to hear in the morning and the evening about Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada has given us these books. So please start reading these books, especially during Kartik. Take the determination and read these books regularly. And then you will be quickly purified from this envy. And then you will be able to act as a spirit soul. Not as the body, because spirit soul is our real identity. And tomorrow evening, in the temple, I think, in Ottawa, I will speak about the power of spiritual identity. So that is the next part tomorrow evening. Thank you very much. If there are any questions or comments, please. Yeah.
Very good, sir. Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful lecture. I have some concerns and especially thoughts about envy and jealousy, right? So, being envy of, let's say, for example, you, right, being my guru and not being me, otherwise, it's very simple to identify, but sometimes it's very subtle. You're envy in a very subtle way, right? And you're not envy with the person, you are envy about where you are. So a good example would be like when I was a small kid, my uncle used to tell me the story that, there was this king and then he used to do a lot of pujas and everything, and he would do a lot of offerings to the god, and he got an ego that, that hey, I'm doing better than other people. Some thoughts over there on how to identify envy, especially when that's done in mode of ignorance, right? If I'm doing with a person, it's easy to identify versus just being respectful of my position in the society.
Thank you. That's a good point. Gross envy and subtle. The gross forms of envy are called lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. These are the gross types. And if you practice that method, which we explained today, the chant of the Hare Krishna mantra, the hearing about Krishna, deity worship, offering our food to Krishna, and do that constantly, these gross things will quickly go after 3, 4, 5 years. But then the subtle is more difficult. The subtle contamination in the form of profit and distinction, that's much more difficult. their temple. First they do the gross cleansing, or they collect all the dust and so on. But then after that, with water, the subtle cleansing, it takes much longer. But the process of bhakti is so powerful that if you do it for 20, 30 years, this subtle contamination will also go. But you can only attain that if you are fully attached to Krishna. If you are attached to Krishna, you become detached from everything in this world. Because you feel you can give up this low of things in this world. But it's a process, and that process is acting on spirit soul, and one must apply that correctly, with the correct attitude. And I will speak on that tomorrow in the temple, how to come to that point, because the process of devotional service now 9 stages, from Shraddha to Prema. So, in the first 5 stages deals with the gross contamination. That's called Shraddha in the beginning. I've some faith that Krishna is God, and therefore I'm associating with the devotees. Sometimes I'm going to the temple. I started here from devotees, and finally with sadhu sanghas, I decided to associate with them and to hear from them. And then I accept finally a spiritual master and learn from him how to perform this devotional service, how to act as a spirit soul. That's called Vajana Kriya. You start to do that, but it's difficult in the beginning because you are coming from the material life, an envious life, and this is all different. You must give up these things. And they learn how to practice, and the practice, this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in the beginning is a little difficult to form up to 16 rounds minimum, and to start reading the scriptures and to start the worship of the deity. So it's in the beginning it's a little anishtita, it's unstable. But once you become fixed in this sadhana bhakti, sadhana bhakti means following the instructions of the spiritual master. There are 64 instructions on sadhana bhakti, how to practice it. Practice means it's we practice devotional service, bhakti, but we have devotion and service. Devotion is the internal, the service is the external. And in the beginning, there is only the external, it's mechanistic, the internal is not yet there. But by practicing it, you please the spiritual master. And Krishna says that if the spiritual master is pleased, then I start to cleanse the heart of the devotee. And then you come to Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti is the stage where this gross contamination starts to go away. And Anartha Nivritti usually takes 20, 30 years. And then you come to Nishtha. Then you become steady and you become liberated from this lust and so on. And how can I know that? That's a Brahmabhuta stage. Brahmabhuta Pasana, if you become peaceful, you don't hanker for anything in this world anymore. And you don't lament. That you come on the spiritual platform, free from the duality of the body, of attachment and aversion. And then, from there, the subtle cleansing starts, at Nishtha. But that goes much, then Nishtha, after that, comes Ruchi. You become really attracted to Krishna, because you are free from this gross lust, and most subtle is already gone. Then you come to Shakti, that's the seventh stage. Then you will realize Krishna in the heart. You will feel him at every moment. That is Paramatma realization. So you have Brahman realization, Paramatma realization. At Paramatma realization, the subtle lust is practically completely gone. There's still a trace. And then when it comes to Bhava, that's the preliminary stage of loving God. And if that becomes more intense, it becomes prema, love of God. And once you have attained prema, all the subtle graces of this lust are gone. Then it's gone. But unless you come to prema, there's still this subtle residue. But this material energy, Krishna says, Mama Maya Dharachya, very difficult to overcome. Mama Madhurya, but he says, Mami Vaya Prabhachante, Maya Ekam Karantite. But one who surrenders unto me, who follows these instructions of worship and so on, that's what it means, then you can easily cross beyond this material influence. You come to the transcendence. But it's a scientific process. I'm going to it more than 30 years. 30 years ago, if someone would say to me something nasty, I would feel very unhappy. And I could be unhappy and disturbed for days, for months. Now today, 30 years ago, later, if someone says something nasty against me, to me, I will still be disturbed for a few minutes. And let it go. But you don't have that power in the beginning. But that is just the beginning. But we should in this life at least come to Nishta, liberation. The next life, we will not take birth again. That's what Prabhupada says. Madhyam Adhikam. The middle platform, at least we should attain. Does that help? Good. Yes.
Very nicely you separated. I never heard this is the last time we read is the first 5 is gross and the envy is subtle.
Profit and distinction.
Very nice.
Yeah, because I'm aware of that because I'm a member of the Ministry for Sannyas, and the candidates for Sannyas, they must be free also from this subtle. And this subtle is mainly profit and distinction. And how can you see what are the qualities of a sannyas described in 16.1, the divine qualities? That abhaya, sattva, samsudhir. Abhaya, when you are free from these things, you are fearless. You realize you are not a body. Fearless. Abhaya, sattva, samsudhir. And the sannyas only acts for his purification. And that's what I always put in mind. I try to serve Krishna with my body, mind, and words for my purification. And by helping purifying others. Is that okay? Good. Thank you very much. Then we will have Damodarastakam. Namamishvaram Satchit Anandarupam Nasakanvalam Doso Devasamam
Namamishvaram Satchit Anandarupam Nasakanvalam Doso Devasamam Namamishvaram
Ishwaram Satchit Anandarupam Sasakundalam Dukure Matanam
Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam
Yasodabeyo Dukkhanadapamanam Aramishtam Madhyantato Dukkhadotam
Yashoda Viyoluka Radhavamanam Param Vishamadyanta Dodrutagopya
Yasodabeyo Dukkhanadapamanam Aramishtam Madhyantato Dukkhadotam
Yashoda Viyoluka Radhavamanam Param Vishamadyanta Dodrutagopya
Budam Tamoritam Niyantam Aram Bhojayukmena Satatamritam
Budam Tamurita Yugmam Vijantam Param Bhojayukmena Satatamritam
Budam Tamoritam Yukmamijantam Aram Bhojayukmena Satatamritam
Budam Tamurita Yugmam Vijantam Param Bhojayukmena Satatamritam Bhusvasakam Bhakti Prabhava Sitadevam Damodarakam Bhusvasakam Bhakti Ekakanta Sitadevam Damodarakam Bhakti-bhaktam Adhiyeshi Bhakti-Jikatvam Damodarastakam Shatabhakti Vande
Bhagam Deva Moksham Namokshabhadim Vam Nasham Yam Vinenam Pradeshapi
Param Deva Moksham Na Moksham Vadimva Nacham Yamineham Vadeshadapiha
Param Deva Moksham Namokshabhadim Vam Nasham Yam Vinenam Pradeshapi
Param Deva Moksham Na Moksham Vadimva Nacham Yamineham Vadeshadapiha
Idam te bhagunata gopalabalam Sadam manasya devastam kimam
Idam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sadam Vimanasya Virasam Kimante
Idam te bhagunata gopalabalam Sadam manasya devastam kimam
Idam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sadam Vimanasya Virasam Kimante
Idam te mukham bhojam acyantanidam Idam kundalasnita sattagopam
Idam Te Mukham Bhojam Acyantanide Idam Kundalasnita Gopya
Idam te mukham bhojam acyantanidam Idam kundalasnita sattagopam
Idam Te Mukham Bhojam Acyantanide Idam Kundalasnita Gopya
Moham vidam vimbarachadalam manasa virastam nalam bhaktilabham
Mosham Vidam Bimbarachadaram Manasya Virasam Madam Lakshayate
Moham vidam vimbarachadalam manasya virastam nalam bhaktilabham
Mosham Vidam Bimbarachadaram Manasya Virasam Madam Lakshayate
Namo Deva Damodarastakam Vishnu H.H.Bhakti
Vipadishi Vishadi Vinambatanu Vihani Shamavajam Vidashi Krishna
Ove Atmajavadam Jaivayatam Ayam Ashita Bhakti Prabhava Prema Bhaktim Svakamai Payacham Namo Karo Nishti Damodare
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 Namaste Dhammeshu Bhakti-Dhamme Bhadiyodayayata Vishvasvadamme
Namaste Sudhamme Sudhaditidhamme Hariyogarayata Vishvasya Dhamme
Namaste Dhammeshu Bhakti-Dhamme Bhadiyodayayata Vishvasvadamme
Namaste Sudhamme Sudhaditidhamme Hariyogarayata Vishvasya Dhamme
Namo Radhikaya Kshadriya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devayatu
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiyapiyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devayatu
Namo Radhikaya Kshadriya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devayatu
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiyapiyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devayatu
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Narayana